Hello, first graders. Welcome to a new math lesson. We're going to start a new topic, topic 12, measuring length. In this topic, we're going to learn about comparing ordering by length, indirect measurement, and we're going to use different units to measure length. Right, let's start with our first lesson, topic 12, lesson 1, compare and order by length. Let's see. Please open your book, page 493.
Can you put these objects in order from longest to shortest? How can you tell if one object is longer than another object?
All right, so we have three objects and we need to put them in order from longest to shortest. So we're going to look at the longest one and we're going to write that's the longest or draw it. And then we have the shortest. And then after that, the one between. Okay, let's watch our video.
You can put the worms in order by length. Are these worms the same length or different lengths? They are different lengths. How can you tell?
All right, so we have three worms and we can tell that we have three different lengths for the three worms. How do you know that? Well, if I look, I can tell that the yellow worm is the longest, and then I can see that the red one is the shortest.
The worms are lined up at one end, and you can see that the other ends do not line up. You can put the worms in order by length. The yellow worm is longer than the red worm and the blue worm.
All right, so we line them up and look at the same point. As we see, the three of the worms start from the same length or the same point, but they don't end at the same point. That means I see the yellow is longer and I see the red is shorter.
The yellow worm is the longest. What does the word longest mean? It means having the greatest length. Does having their ends line up help you find which worm is longest? Yes. When you line up one end of all three objects, you can look at the other ends to compare their lengths. Which worm is shorter, the red or blue worm?
Select your answer.
All right, so we line them up all, start from the same point, and we look at the end. Are they all ending in the same point? We don't see this. I see that the yellow is longer and then longest, and I see the blues in the middle, and I can tell that the shortest one is the red one.
The red worm is shorter than the blue worm. What does the word shortest mean? It means having the least length. Is the red worm the shortest worm?
Yes. As we say, they start from the same point, and then we can tell that they're not ending at the same. I see that the yellow worm is the longest. I see the red worm is the shortest.
Yes, the red worm is the shortest. Why don't you have to compare the red worm to the yellow worm to know that the red one is the shortest? You already know that the yellow one is the longest. What are the worm colors in order from longest to shortest? Yellow, blue, red. What are the worm colors in order from shortest to longest? In order from shortest to longest, the worm colors are red, blue, yellow.
Now you know how to put objects in order from shortest to longest.
All right, let's go for our guided practice in your book, page 494, and see the examples we have. So draw lines to show which object is longest and which is shortest. We have here three colored chalk, we have the longest one is the pink and the shortest is the purple. How do we know? We look at the object that we have. We have to line up from the first point. So we see they're all starting from this point, and we can tell that they're ending in a different point. So that's why it's easy for me to spot the longest and the shortest. Let's go for the paintbrush. Again, they start with the same point. So they're lining up, starting from the same point. And I can tell that the paintbrush that have a green tip is the very good longest. So let's draw a line. And then the paintbrush with the purple tip is the shortest. So that's the shortest one. It's easy. Let's go to the first exercise we have in our book, page 493. And now we can easily answer this question.
Can you put these objects in order from longest to shortest? How can you tell if one object is longer than another object?
All right, I have three objects. I put them, line them up with the same, start from the same, and I look at the end. I can tell that the pencil, the end of the object of the end of the pencil is longer than the paintbrush and the marker. So the longest would be the pencil. Let's write down pencil. And the marker is the shortest. Very good. And then the paintbrush is between. So we're going to write paintbrush in the middle. Paintbrush. So now I can see that pencil is the longest, marker the shortest, and then the paintbrush in the middle. Then we need to explain. I can say that how did this work? You line them up at the end and look at the object. That easily you can tell that the pencil is the longest and the marker is the shortest. So I can write this down. So we line them up at the same ends. Object. And then we can easily tell that pencil is the longest and marker is shortest. And the paintbrush is in the middle. All right, so this is my answer and this is my explanation. All right, that's it for today's lesson. I'll let you continue the activity in page 495 and 496. Thank you. Hello, first graders. Welcome to a new math lesson. Please get your book ready, page 497. Topic 12, lesson 2. Indirect measurement. Let's start.
How can you find out whether the shoe or the pencil is longer without putting them next to each other? What can you use? Circle the longer object and explain how you found out.
Okay, as you see, I have two different objects. I want to see which one is shortest or which one is longer. But to find out the shorter and the longer, we usually put them, as you remember previous lesson, we put them next to each other, starting from the same point and see where the object will end. But let's say if they're not next to each other, So in this case, I can use assist or help with a different item or a different object. So I can get a measurement tape or ruler or even a string. I can just put a string, measure one of the items and go and see, use the same string and I put it next to the other item and see if it's shorter or longer. Let's watch our video.
How can you compare objects when they are in different places? You can use one object to compare and find out which object is longer.
Let's find out more.
You could use a string to compare the two pencils. Compare one pencil with the string.
All right, so I have the string and I'm measuring the pencil and I know that the pencil ended here. Now I'm going to use the string and I go for the second pencil and see.
This pencil is shorter than the string. Compare the other pencil with the same piece of string.
All right, so I use the same piece of string and I'm going to the second object, which is a red pencil, to compare. So as you see, this pencil is longer than the string. Of course, when I measure, I have to make sure that I'm using the same string that I used when I measured the previous object, and also starting with the same point.
This pencil is longer than the string. Is the green string the same length as the green string that was compared to the blue pencil?
Yes.
Yes, the blue pencil is shorter than the string. The red pencil is longer than the string. So the blue pencil is shorter than the red pencil. Now you know how to compare the lengths of two objects by using a third object.
All right, remember these two pencils were not next to each other. So as the previous exercise, when we have the shoe and we have the pencil. So what we do, we get another object, which is a string over here. So we measure first object first and see if this first object shorter or longer than the string. Then the same string, we're gonna use it to measure the other object, and then we can compare. Now I can tell that the blue pencil is shorter than the red pencil using the same string. All right, let's go for our guided practice, page 498. All right, circle the pictures of the object that is longer. Use the red crayons to help. So the red crayons is the string, as we used the string in the previous exercise or the video. Over here, we're gonna use the red crayons. So I'm comparing the crayons with the purple marker, and then same crayons, I'm gonna compare it with the green marker. So now I'm looking, I measure both the purple marker and the red crayons. I see them, they're almost the same measurement. Now I go and measure, use the same crayon and go to the green marker. I can tell that the green marker is longer than the red crayons. That's mean this is my longer object. So I'm gonna circle this. Now let's go for the next object that I need to measure. I have a feather and I have a glue stick, still using the same crayon. So take the crayons and put it next to the feather. You can tell that the crayon's shorter than the feather, or the feather is longer than the crayons. Very good. Using the same crayon and the glue stick, I can tell that the glue stick is shorter or the crayon is longer. So in this case, I see the crayon is longer than the glue stick. And with the feather, I see that the feather is longer. That's mean the feather is longer than the glue stick. So I can circle the feather. So that's my longer object. If I go back to the first exercise, we have a shoe and we have a string. So over here, you can get a shoe and a pencil. We can get a string, and the same string we're gonna use, we're gonna measure the shoe and see if this shoe is shorter or longer than the string I have. Then I'm gonna use the same string and I measure the pencil, start from the same point. I'll find out that the pencil is longer than the shoe. So I can circle the longer object. And I know how did I do that? I can use a string, I can use a ruler, I can use another pencil. I can use anything I can have to help me straight line that help me to choose my longer object. All right, so it's easy, isn't it? I'll let you have fun with the rest of the activity in your book, page 499 and 500. That's it for today, first graders. Thank you.